Hi, this is Geekoffaleash with a Christmas kind of special slash end of year PC budget orientated, enthusiast orientated system builds. Um, I'm trying to call it the like I don't know, Geeks Computers, whatever you want to call them, that's what we're going to call them. Please comment below and tell me what I should call this segment. I'm trying to do it every season, quarterly. It's summer here in Australia at the moment. I know it's winter in America, but Christmas is coming up, and people want to know what they want to buy. Everything I look at around Australia and on YouTube and everything, it's based on US prices and what you can get in the US, which most of the time you can't get in Australia. So what we're going to do is I've gone to my usual website. I'm going to put the link in the description below. It is PC Case Gear. They are Australian. They are from Victoria. They're pretty good on their prices. They're pretty good on their shipping, but obviously prices will vary depending on what stores you go. This is just a quick thing of what they've had in stock. I've done this list over the last couple of weeks. So they've had it in stock at the moment. They might not have them in stock. And obviously prices are subject to change and blah 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 and all the usual crap. So let's get going. The first one I like to call the Geekoffaleash under 1000 AUD. You can't see it up there. So this is under $1,000. Now my rules are simple. It has to be a complete computer. So I'm not talking about it just main components. I'm talking about it's got to have an operating system. It's got to have headphone and mic. It's got to have a keyboard, mouse. It's got to have a monitor. So you can see that it will be a very tight budget. There's things there that if people have got the system or they've got the basics, they're going to change it up a little bit. And look at the different packs that I've got. I go for the under 1000. There's an under $1,500 and an under $2,500 one. Because after $2,500, you can pretty much buy what you want. And you can swap and change this. I have made the list public. So if you actually type in Geekoffaleash under $1,000, I'll put all these in the comments below. If you actually type that in on PC Case Gear's website, it will actually come up with my wish list that I've already created, and you can turn it into whatever you want to do. So here we go. So first of all, I got for the $1,000, I got a deep cool black Tesseract. They call it a BF mid-tower case. It's $49. It's in blue. I'm not a big fan of the case other than the fact it's cheap. It's got a fan in the back. It's got obviously USB 3.0 and 2.0 support in the front. It's got dust filters in the top panel. It can have radiator support, but on a budget build, you generally don't put a radiator in there. So as we have a look at the case, it's got a nice opening. It's got your vent panel underneath for your power supply if you have it that way. It's got your 2.5-inch sleds and 3.5-inch sleds, and obviously it's got a toolless. It's got your toolless bays up the top here. Power reset, headphone jacks, and obviously there's air vents on the side, which you could probably put fans on as well. It's probably not the greatest case in the world, but in this budget range, it can do ATX mini, ATX micro, ATX. So it can do everything, and it's got a little bit of cable management, as you can see from some of the pictures below. What you'll also notice on the front, this blue bit here, although it's decoration, it's also allows airflow through into it as well. So there you go. It's a budget case. Does what you need to do. Not too sure if they say cooling fans included with one rear one. You can get optional front and top and side, so you can get optional ones, but it's definitely a rear 120mm fan. But on a budget machine, you generally don't have a lot of stuff that you need cooling because it won't get too hot. So there we go. So that was $49 Australian. We're going to put in an Intel Pentium G4400 in this build. It's a socket 1151. If you have a bit more money, you could probably upgrade it, but the next upgrade I think is an i3, and they start around $144, something like that. So it's a big jump. I admit it's got only 3 meg cache, 64-bit, obviously. It I'm just having a look at it. It's, yeah, 2 cores, 3.3 gigahertz on the processor base frequency. It's only 54 watt, so it's not going to let out a lot of heat. But 3.3 gig dual core, it's going to do just about anything you want. And memory types, it will support up to 2133 megahertz DDR4 memory, and DDR3 memory will support up to 1600. So it does have an onboard graphics thing there. You know, you could do it. I wouldn't. I would, you get a graphics card with it, but for $79, it fits in nicely. Like I said, this is a budget computer, and there's a reason why I went with that system. The motherboard, Gigabyte H110MH. It's a micro ATX board. It will fit obviously into that system, and it will give a little bit more airway. What you'll notice is it does have two 2133 megahertz DDR4 memory slots. So you are going to get your maximum benefit out of that Core 2 4400. It's $85. It's got basically everything you want: gigabit LAN. We'll just scroll right down to the bottom. So it's got your gigabit LAN. It does have your sound audio through there. It's got a PCI Express slot. You'll find that it's got all your SATA there. It's only 4-pin and 24-pin power. It's got a USB 3.0 port there. Again, it's a baseboard. Generally speaking, on a budget computer, you're not going to run an SLI or anything like that. With that CPU, you're not really going to overclock it, so you only need a baseboard to get it in, and two sticks of memory slot. It just depends on what you want to go. We'll talk a bit more later in that, but other than that, I'm pretty sure you've got your standard CPU fan header, and I'm pretty sure there is a system fan header as well, which is great because it's towards the back of the board. That's where you can run the external one. But other than that, if you're only running that, that's all you need. It suits that case perfectly with that just one fan header. Obviously, if you wanted to put more fans in there, you'll probably have to put a splitter or run your 4-pin Molex into a splitter and run extra fans off that way, which you can do, but it's a nice little board. Bit too brown for my liking personally, but when it's inside a case that you can't really see in anyway, it's fine. Oh, on the back, obviously, I better read the back. It's got your two PS2 ports, which I still like for keyboard and mouse support. Obviously, it's got your serial HDMI, two USB 3.0s, two USB 2.0s, gigabit networking, your standard thing. Like I said, budget board, $79 off memory. I'm pretty sure $85, sorry, off memory. There we go. It will suit that CPU fine. You're not expecting the world out of this, but it's good enough. What we did was we went for two 4 gig sticks of 2133 Vengeance megahertz for the memory. 8 gig total, $79. It's black. You can get different colors. It's 2133 megahertz, 8 gig. It's DDR4, and being that speed as well, if you do upgrade your motherboard and CPU later, you can whack that in there. And 2133 megahertz isn't the greatest speed right now on DDR4. Most of your memory types are up around the 3000, but it's still not that slow that if you wanted to upgrade your board and your CPU, you don't have to upgrade your memory. And that was the idea behind this. You can put a better CPU in this board. You can even put a i5 2500K in there. Not that you're going to get the benefit of the overclock, but you can do that and use that memory there, and then you can upgrade your board, use that memory, the newer CPU. So you can do a lot of upgrading with this setup, and it would just be by a parts by parts list from that. So you can do it if you want to. Then we went for the GTX 1050 G1 Gaming. I've just installed this card in my girlfriend's son's setup. It's a 1050. It's good. It's running all the games, latest games. It's definitely running on more on medium settings. He's running an i5 2500K though, which is your older generation CPU, and he's running DDR3 memory at the moment. But this card, it's great for the value for money. $209 Australian. You won't find that much better out there. There probably is something that is better dollars per FPS, but right now to fit in that under $1,000 price point, $209, it's a fifth of the budget, but it's going to make up more than a fifth of the performance in your gaming type. It's only 2 gig though, but you generally be running one monitor, and it shouldn't affect things too much in that case. Hard drive, not really going to click on this one. Seagate Barracuda 1 TB standard hard drive. Again, budget computer. You could, for the same price, get say a 120 gig SSD and have a little bit faster boot up performance, but I went for, with not much support for games and that, I went for the bigger support for the hard drive, so you can put more games on, so you have more to play instead of uninstalling and installing them all the time when you want to play them. So if you want to go the SSD, you can, but you're going to sacrifice a lot of hard drive space if you do that. Power supply, 400 watt Be Quiet system, Power 8, it's $59. I'm running a very similar power supply right now in the 1050 setup that I've got with an i5 2500K. It's handling it fine. It's not drawing near to the 400 watt power mark. It's a great little power supply. It looks pretty. It's sleeved pretty much the whole way. Or it's black cable, so black wires all the way. I actually thought originally it was semi-modular, but it isn't. It's not semi-modular. It looks like it is, but it's not. They're just little air vents. It's 80 plus certification. Obviously, it's not gold or silver. It is down, but it's $59. Again, we're playing to a budget right now, and that's what we're doing. Monitor, Acer 21.5 inch, $119. Look, it does 1080p. That's kind of what you're aiming for this budget at $119. Again, you know, you could go bigger, you could go smaller, and it will change that budget. But like I said, we're trying to get under $1,000, and that's everything. So this is a complete system that someone's going to take home, and they're going to build, and they're going to play, put on Steam and download the latest games. By the way, Autumn Sale is on currently as we speak, and there's some good games out there that's cheap. Things like Just Cause 3, Metal Gear Solid, and stuff like that. And this system will play these games, which is really, really handy. So like I said, it's going to be a VA panel, I'm pretty sure. I'm not even too sure if it actually tells me in this. But it's got DVI and VGA support. I'm pretty sure it's a VA panel. It's not even telling me, but you know, that happens. And as for the mouse keyboard, I went for the Cooler Master Devastator 2 gaming bundle. It is blue. It kind of matches the front of the tower. You know, that's why I went for it. You can get this in different colors. I think you can get it in red and green as well. $49, you get a decent mouse and a decent keyboard that will work. Again, like I said, it's budget orientated. If you want a better keyboard and mouse, you can do it. But this is for the starter. And for the headset, I couldn't really see anything out there. Like, there's some cheaper ones. I think Logitech make a really cheap one for about $25. But it had really small ear marks, ear pieces in it. I went for the bit bigger, the TTE Sports gaming headset, $49. It's not the best around, and it probably last you a year or so, and then you probably want to get a new pair. But that allows you to find out what you want to do. Do you want better sound? Do you want a separate microphone and headphone setup and stuff like that? But again, strict to the budget, $49. And then obviously you've got your operating system, $149, which is the Windows 10, 32 and 64-bit USB flash drive. So you can do your upgrades and stuff like that. And the USB installation makes it so much faster, unbelievably faster. And that all comes in for $995 Australian. Like I said, it is a budget system. It is under $1,000. It does have a monitor. It does have keyboards. It does have headphones. It does have an operating system. That's 4 things. Once you have them, you would never have to buy them again unless you specifically want them or they break. If you're doing just a complete, just a normal PC upgrade, you've already got those 4 things, then you could probably look at spending a little bit more on, say, the CPU, The motherboard's fine. You could probably go up to an i3 CPU with the money you save. You definitely get an SSD. With that, you might want to upgrade to 16 gig of RAM. But when you have a look at the next system, which is the under $1,500 system, you'll have a look to see where I'm going. Everything is upgradable to what you want. For instance, like that motherboard, for instance, right now, it will do the job. If you want to upgrade to an i5 or an i7, you can do that. You're not going to see the benefits right now on that motherboard, but you could buy that chip, put it in there, get the better raw performance at the start, and then upgrade that motherboard later. Then add some more RAM, and you can see where I'm going. You can build on this system. I think the last system I did in this range was a DDR3 system, which was at the peak of its like budget orientation. This time I've gone DDR4. It's cost a little bit more in some of the components, but the upgradability and stuff like that is there if you want to be there. So that's a complete system for under $1,000, and like I said, that is everything. So the next one we will go for on this, and I'm just trying to get to my next wish list. Oh, hang on, there we go. There's my other email address that you've just seen there. This is your under $1,500 range AUD. You'll notice that this case sold out. It wasn't sold out when I did it. It's only just happened. But most of the other stuff is in stock. So here we go. This case is the Deep Cool Geekoffaleash version 2. I was looking for something a little bit different. It's $79. A little bit different to the usual cases. It does have a power supply cover. I'm just going to try and get down here. It's very similar to the like the S340s and stuff like that from NZXT, and I'm pretty sure there's probably a little bit of fringing copyright in that. I haven't had a great look at this case. I've just put this together today. I just noticed it and thought I want a cheap system. So it's got your normal power supply slot. It does have power supply cover. It's got your SSD mounts down the front here, aka the NZXT stuff has been doing that for a little while with the cover. It's got your front 5.25-inch bays here if you want to go for a hard drive. You'll notice there's fan mounts in the front there. You got your in the back, and you got your top there. It's quite nice. Got a nice window. It does have a door on the front. That there you go. It exposes that 5.25-inch in through the old floppy drive. Not that you'll ever use it anymore, unless someone there's something that they really need it for. I don't think you would. You have a look at the top vent, and the reason for why you got your biggest CPU, there is actually an LED strip mounting slot for your lighting gear down on that cover. You can actually see it there. There's a hole there, and you can actually put a lighting strip across there, which is a pretty cool idea. I think when you look at that, that's not a bad idea because it molds into the front, so it looks like it's going to be part of the case. I like that idea. It's got a 3.5-inch drive bracket as well. In the back underneath, you've got your two HD drive slots. It's also got a 2.5-inch mounting slot just above it. So and then obviously you've got your two there. So it can hold its hard drives. Obviously 390mm graphics cards, and you can run two of them in SLI if you've got the right board for it. If you want USB 3, USB 2, power reset, and I can't remember what that switch is on the top. It's a fan speed controller for your fans. And I don't think it actually tells me right in the specs here. Does it tell me? So pre-installed, it's got one rear at 120mm. On there, it's got front to 120 or 140mm. Or you can go top 120, 240, 140, 280. But you can't exceed those dimensions there. So you could put a liquid cooler in there, I guess, in the front. Probably just go a 120 on a budget rig if you want. I didn't go with any cooling techniques in my packs. The reason why is my emphasis was getting you the base, and then you can add later. Obviously ATX, micro ATX, and mini ATX, so it supports everything. So CPU cooler height 160mm. Most of them will fit under that there. It's a nice, pretty little case, but there you go. Not bad for what was it, $79? Currently sold out at PC Case Gear, but there you go. It's nice. We're putting an i3 6100 in this one. It's only 2 cores. Again, 3.7 gigahertz, 51 watts. It's got 4 threads though, not 2, like the G4400. And I had to sacrifice here because I wanted to put like an i5 in there, but the i5's in Australia at the moment. I think the base one's in around the 250 price point, and that's $100 more. But if you get this CPU, it's going to run well. It covers memory, I can't remember, up to 2133 again. DDR4, it's capable of holding 64 gig if you want. So where the other one only is capable of doing 32. So you can go up to 64 gig, but 2133 megahertz, most memory people are going to go for that, or 2400. But 2133 is not slow. It's average for today's standard. But again, it's the upgradability of what I like to do, or the future-proofness of it. It's a great CPU to start off with. 51 watts, it's not going to overheat, especially with that Intel heatsink and fan combo. I, again, never ran into any problems with running the Intel. You can't really overclock this, and if you did, you'd probably only get a few frames. It's not really worth it. And what it is worth is power saving, obviously. And being that $155, we're saving $100. And if you're looking at getting, say, an i5 6600K, I'm pretty sure it is, you're currently looking at about $325 Australian for that chip. So you're saving, you could buy 2 of those for the same price. So you're currently saving a lot of money on that, and that money can be put elsewhere, which you'll see as we get further down into our build. The motherboard, we went with the Gigabyte Z170 HD3 motherboard, $179. They talk about all this stuff. Now, this motherboard is capable of 3200 megahertz DDR4. It's got 4 slots. So later on, if you want to upgrade, you can. The memory, like the CPU, once you upgrade that CPU and you do get into the i5s and it is 3200 megahertz compatible, this board will do it for you. This board also has the M2 ports, 6 SATA 3s, SATA Express slots. It's got 8 USB 3.0s, 4 rear and 4 internal. So it's gigabit LAN, HDMI, ATX. Oh, it's got everything on there. And it's overclockable as well. Up to 32 gig on the M2 slots. Let's have a look at this board. Like I said, 3200 mega. Again, it's like that brownish colored board. I'm not a big fan, but it's mostly black grey, so it's going to suit a theme. It's got your 8 pins there. It's a Z series. It is overclockable. So later on, if you do go up to that i5, you can do it with this board. You can overclock a little bit with the board. There's your 24 pin, 2 USB front port headers, 3.0 front port headers. I like how all the SATA ports here are facing outwards. Makes much more easy to collect things. You've got your color code, typical Gigabyte color coded power LED reset switch kind of ports here. There's your front port USBs, and you've got all your general other stuff, your front audio headers as well. They really need to bring that over this side of the board somewhere. The reason why I suggest that is because it is front port. It just looks neater. And same with these headers here. If they could bring that in the front USB all along this part here, it would make it so much better for mounting. And maybe, depending, because of all the cases are going for that front mounted dual SSD mounts, they could probably put 2 SATA ports just here. So you could run little short, 5 centimeter, 2-inch leads from the back of that port straight into the board. It would look really sweet doing that way as well. But there's your little sound cutoff thing that they've all been doing these days. And here you go. It's got your PS2 header there. Again, love it for the mouse keyboard combo. Your 2 USB 2.0s, DVI, HDMI, VGA, I guess. Your 4 USB 3.0s, your network port, and obviously all your sound. The headers on this, you got a little bit more than last time. You got your system fan. Can't remember. There's your CPU fan header. So you got a system fan header if you want 4 pin. I think you'll find there is a 3 pin down this side somewhere. No, sorry, there's a system fan header just there. There's a clear CMOS button there. I think there is another one floating around on the other side. I can't remember where it was. Someone probably pointed out to me, but I think there's 3 system fan headers on this and 1 CPU fan header. There's definitely one there, CPU, and I can't see the other one, but I'm pretty sure there is. Let me double check that. The CPU fan failure warnings. 3 system fan headers and 1 CPU, so I can't remember where the other one was. Can't see it. Oh, sorry, there it is there. So 1, 2, 3, so that'd be good for your top mount fan or your rear mount fan. That'd be good for your front. And, well, obviously that would be for your front as well. So that's not a bad board. It is, like I said, overclockable. $179 fits in the theme, the budget. And like I said, is under $1,500 and you've got to have everything. Okay, so with that, we whack in 2 4 gig sticks for $79, a total of 8 gig. People are going to be screaming at me, but why? You want 16 gig? The reason why, for $79, you get your 2 4 gig sticks at 2400 megahertz. The board is capable of more. The RAM is capable of only 2133, so it's kind of, you're not going to get your benefit out of this at the moment with that CPU, but if you upgrade your CPU, you're going to get the benefit. But the other advantage of this, if you don't want to, if you're not so worried about your RAM speed, what you can do is you can just put, for another $79, you can make that 16 gig with the same memory. I love the Black HyperX memory. It's a sweet looking thing, sweet looking memory. 15, 15, 15. A lot of the other ones that I was looking at were around the 17s for the same price. For the price, for the performance, $79. You're only going to be running at 2133 at the moment. So you're not going to get the full benefit, but if you do upgrade from that i3 into an i5 series, you'll see the benefit. Then you can upgrade, being the bigger board with the 4 slots. You can go $79, another $79, and you're going to be 16 gig. Or you could technically go for 2 8 gig sticks. And then you technically have, what's that, 24 gig of memory, which, you know, if you want to get faster memory, but, you know, it's up to you what you want to do. But for $79, again, like I said, sticking to that budget. And then the graphics card, obviously from the 1050, we've gone up to the 1060. It's $333, and if you know what I am, this is only half evil. It's only half kind of the performance of a 1080, which is the full evil. I'm only joking. Just happened to be $333, throw an evil joke in there. 1847 megahertz boost, 1620 megahertz base. It's the G1 gaming from GeForce. It's a 3 gigabyte card, and really not much else to say about it. It does its job. It's got stylish backplate. Supposedly you can cycle through colors. It's got customized color lighting on the top of the card, so when it's facing out at you, you can change it to whatever color build you've got. Pity that the changes don't come in the stickers as well, but you know, you're kind of stuck with that. So yeah, here you go. This and this here light up. And as you see, you've got your DVI, your HDMI, and 3 DisplayPort outs. 1 8-pin. Recommended PSU is 400 watt. It's probably running 100 watt continuous or something like that. So you got your base clock and your overclock mode. So there's your base and there's your overclock mode, and in gaming mode. So you got your boost and your base. So you can read all that there. $333 does what you want. You got a bit of bling with the RGB lighting. And with that case, if you saw that strip, you probably get an RGB strip. You could probably match what that is with that, and it's not going to detract away from your system. $333. Great now. Actually, quite fantastic for now. And later on, if you want to see what happens in the future, you know, you can upgrade. You'd never buy 2 of these. You'd never water cool this. But $333, it fits right in, and it'll give you the raw performance that you need. Power supply, I'm not going to go into it. It's the Be Quiet Pure Power 9. It is the semi-modular one. It's 500 watt. It will handle everything that you throw at it. That you're going to throw at it. It will even handle if you put in the i5 CPU. If you're going to overclock and stuff like that, maybe get a bit bigger power supply. But honestly, right now for this performance, $99, and it will handle a PC upgrade. A CPU upgrade if you want to do that. And extra RAM, it will handle that speed. SSD, 120 gig SSD. Not much to say about the SSD. It's just going to make it boot faster. You got your 1 terabyte hard drive. Again, I always throw this in. It's for storage. That is now for basically your Windows operating system and maybe a game, and then you put all your movies and extra games that don't really need the speed on for that. And the big thing with the monitor this time, I went for an 23-inch IPS monitor. It's $169. A little bit bigger than the other monitor, but it is IPS. You do get the better color reproduction. Not as fast as the other monitor for gaming, but this looks so much better. And I think it's 5 milliseconds, something like that, not 2. Who cares? My eyes can't tell the difference. Headset, HyperX Cloud Core Gaming headset, $659, a bit better than the last one. I've heard good things about the Core headsets from HyperX. Haven't used one myself, but I've read reviews, I've watched reviews, and from all reports, it's a good budget headset, $59. And then I went with the keyboard this time. Actually went for the Storm Octane Gaming Bundle. It's nearly identical to the last one in the very budget system, the under 1,000. Except this time you get to choose from 7 different colors on your keypad. It doesn't have RGB. It doesn't do all your fancy lighting cycles. But basically, it just changes the color that you want it to be. You can put a breathing effect on it, sorry. It does have anti-ghosting and all that sort of jazz. And the mouse, you've got your forward back buttons on your side, or what I call the sniper buttons. It's got your DPS buttons up here. It's a budget machine, $65 for a keyboard and mouse that does what you want it to do, and it comes in, 7 fancy colors. It's a good deal, I think. Not bad. And obviously, the operating system, $149. Again, 32, 64-bit USB flash drive. Now, all that comes in at $1,494. Like I said, this is for the person that's never had a computer before or wants a complete new system. If you want to drop out like the case, and you want to drop out, say, the monitor, the headset, and the operating systems, you're going to dump about $300, $400, $500 odd dollars. With that $500 odd dollars, you would bump that up to an i5, top of the range i5. You would bump that up to 32 gig. And if you've got some money left over, you might bump that up to a 1060, I think there's a 6 gig gaming bundle in 1060. You might even get a 1070, like a real low-end 1070. Or you might want to decide you want to get a better power supply, a bigger SSD. You could do that if you take those things off the list. But like I said, this is for the person that wants to buy a system. This is their Christmas present, and it's got to be from scratch. And that's what I'm looking at, from scratch. So if you want to comment and you want to change things up in there, please do. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this. I wanted to get it out before December. I don't have much time on my hands. I might end up doing, if I have some more time on my hands later on, I might do an AMD one, which is just purely AMD and not Intel and NVIDIA. I did have a quick look at it, and right now I'm swaying towards the Intel NVIDIA stuff, only because of the research that I've done. But I will look into the RX series of graphics cards, and I might do some budget stuff with the RX series as well, and AMD in general. So again, if you want that video, make sure you comment, like, favorite, and subscribe, and all that crap. Dislike it if you hate this video. All right, so that was the under $1,500 Australian price point. Let me emphasize that is Australian prices. It is from one particular company. I didn't go into multiple different companies this time, like I've done in the past. So that's what I found was the best dollar for performance for under 1,500. And now we're going to switch up to what I would call the big boy. And when you're starting at gaming, $2,500 is a lot of money, especially in Australia at the moment. And if it's a first scratch build, $2,500 gets used up really quick, so you've got to look out for what you're paying for. But I think you'll be kind of impressed with what I did. I love this tower. This is like one of my favorite towers of all time. The NZXT 340 mid tower case, $109. Very similar to the last one. I just love the clean aesthetics on this. It's got everything you want on this thing. It's got your power supply cover. It's got your SSD mounts in the front. It can fit full-size ATX, MATX. You can put mounts in the front. You can put radiator support in there. You can't really put a radiator in the top here. You definitely can put one in the back. I think they actually show a picture of it. It's got your front fan filter, it's got your under fan filter, it's even got a top fan filter, off memory. Sorry, no it doesn't. I think it's got 120 or 140, so it's mini ITX, micro ATX, or standard ATX. I've chosen the black one here. I've actually built my girlfriend a computer system in a white one, and it's just easy to build in, and cable management and stuff like that is just fantastic. If you have a look at some of these photos here, they show you two 120mm in the front, running AIO NZXT cooler in there. But it's great for what you want. It's pretty much all steel. You can take stuff off, like you can take things off this. There's a lot of it's screwed. You can remove this, but I like that part there. Right here, it hides your cable management. There's cable management holes everywhere. On the back of the case, there's little nodules everywhere. I don't think they show you though. You can actually show them here. Little cutouts. You got cutout up here, cutout there, all down through here. There's another cable cutout and cable cutout, cable cutout. There's vents through here. The reason for that is there's actually, if you have a look at the back of the case, I don't know if they show you, there's your hard drive mounts. You can put SSD mounts in here as well. An SSD mount at the bottom. That's obviously power supply, air vent coming through. You put your cable management up through here. You can remove this black bit. Look at all the little tie spots you've got. So you've got plenty of tie spots. You've got plenty of cable management room. There is no reason why you can't choose this tower unless you're going for a custom liquid cooled setup with multiple rads and stuff like that. Then you're going to probably run into a little bit of trouble. You can do it. I've seen it done. What they generally do is put a couple of radiators here. They put their they mount their actual radiator on here. Sorry, the reservoir on here with the pump. They actually mount it on there. So they come out of the pump into the rad, out of the rad, across here, and I've seen them actually use another radiator here and go in and out, and then down to the graphics card, out of the graphics card, and back into the actual reservoir pump, and then back that way, so it gets looped around. I have seen that done. It looks pretty sweet, but it's very, very tiny area to work in. You know, I would definitely say it would be very hard to do, but you could do it. Tells you your clearance support there. That will come up nice and pretty for you guys on the video. It's nice and clear for you. Radiator support, here you go, front two 140 or front two 120s. I'd stick to the 120s. And a rear 120, you can't do top radiator support unless you kind of put the radiator at the very top of the case and kind of cut holes in it and feed it through. You don't want to do that because the case is just too pretty for that. For that jazz. And the back of the case, don't even think has the grommets anymore. They remove all the grommet holes and that. You can probably drill them up here somewhere. It just would look ugly. Don't do it. And obviously you've got your thumb screws for your graphics cards and stuff like that. So love that case. It's beautiful. $109, a little bit more than all the others that I've done, but like I said, gradually building up. And here we go. And this is going to run, and I can't believe I've done this, Core i7 6700K. Here you go. These are the bee's knees. 4 cores, 8 threads, 95 watt max, quad core unlocked, and it's the bee's knees. And I think I've fucked up on this build because I have done what I really didn't want to do, and I don't think I've put a power supply in here. I haven't put a power supply in here. What a goose. I'm going to have to fix this up on the fly. This is quite simple. What I will do is you get rid of the core, the i7, you get the i5 6600K. We'll add that to the wish list. And I'll go to a power supply. That gives me $175 odd to play with for the power supply. I'm going to go to my favorite power supplies, the Silverstone power supplies. Love these things. We're going to change this up on the fly. I've never done this before, so let's go for something like that. Let's add that to the wish list. I've totally forgotten a power supply on this build. Well, I'm $4 over. Okay, that will do. Wow, what a stuff up from me, hey? How about that? Building computers without a power supply. Go Geekoffaleash. All right, so scrap the i7. We have gone for an i5 6600K. It's 4 cores, 4 threads, 95 watt, 3.9 gig on the turbo. It is an unlocked quad core. You can use this. You can obviously upgrade from this build as you've seen if you want to do that, which I recommend doing if you don't need some of the other stuff that I'm going to talk about later on. If you don't need it, then great, go for something higher than this. But quad core, $319. It's what I'm currently using right now. This is my gaming CPU. That's my streaming CPU. I do everything on this CPU, all my editing and everything. Do not have a problem. So make sure that this goes into your system. If you're going for $2,500, you've got to make sure you at least do this. I've got custom liquid cooling, which I'll spend another $2,000 on. So something like this build here, all of a sudden goes up to $4,500 if you're going to do a custom liquid cooled setup like I've done. But $319, price for performance. As you just seen, I fucked up there with the Core i7 because I've got the power supply. I dropped the i7 down and I could fit in a really good power supply, which you'll see later on, which is the current one that I'm using. That's why I chose it really quick. I know what it is and what it's about. Okay, so back up the top here, we've got the MSI Z170A SLI Plus motherboard. So yes, it is an MSI Plus motherboard. $209. It's got your 4 RAM slots there. It is a beautiful looking motherboard, being all black. I love this black, white, or black silver theme. You can put anything with this build and it's just going to look great. Obviously, there's your audio stuff there. Your 8-pin for overclocking. Yes, it's a really good board to overclock. Love the MSI overclocking software, like your Afterburner software. Goes really well. There's your CPU, your 4 DDR slots, your power supply, your 1 USB 3.0 header. Your SATA slots are pointing out. You got SATA pointing up. And I'm trying to think, where's the headers on this one for your CPU? I think it's here. I think that's your CPU headers, or is that your audio? I can't make it out. I'm pretty sure that is where your CPU headers are. You got your front audio up the back here. Obviously, your PCI SLI there, and there's a couple of slots, so there's plenty of room if you want to liquid cool your graphics cards, or if you just want to run 2 air-cooled graphics cards, there's plenty of airflow room there. It will work, especially this day and age with the way everything is. Going for more quiet stuff, more or less, more energy efficient stuff, and better airflow, better CPUs and stuff like that. So yeah, headers on this board. Let me get this right. Pretty sure that's a CPU fan header. I can't really make these out right now. I'm pretty sure that's CPU. That's CPU number 2. That's number 1. That's a system fan header for your back fan. You got system fan header there. I think there was one scrounging around here somewhere. I can't see that one. And there's supposed to be another one over here. Oh, sorry, there's one there as well. 1, 2, 3 with 2 CPU fan headers, which is great for liquid cooling, for running a pump, for running your pump and your process. Blah, 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 like your fan headers and your pump and stuff like that. It's really handy to use. I love that board. It's so sweet. And your back panel, here we go. So it's got your 2 PS2 ports, a display port, HDMI, mini display port, your VGA, DVI, 2 USB 3.0, 2 USB 2.0, gigabit, and your usual sand and a partridge in a pear tree coming up to Christmas. Oh, I'm getting really tired right now. This has taken a long video. So there you go. That is the MSI Z170A Plus board. Oh, and it can handle up to 3600 megahertz on the DDR4 overclock, and does everything else you want to do. Like I said, plus a partridge in a pear tree for $209. Will suit the i5 2500K perfectly. The graphics card, we've gone for the 8GB 1070 MSI GeForce GTX, $650 Australian. This is the ARMA version. What can I say? MSI, I'm running their graphics cards at the moment. They're brilliant. A friend of mine has got this card in their system. My girlfriend has the one under this version in her system. They're just beastly cards. One 8-pin only needs 500-watt power supply as well, which is really handy to have. They do SLI quite well. They're just a pretty card. If you have a look on the side, you've got display port, DVI, display port, HDMI display, and a DVI port. So it will work on old monitors and new monitors alone. It's a beautiful beast of a card. They don't show you the back, but most of the armor cards either have a backplate or they actually have like a graphical design on the back of the cards. And I don't think there's any pictures that really show it at the moment. No, they're not showing it, but yeah, there's definitely usually a backplate on these cards, or they have like a dragon or an armor graphic across the actual board itself. They look smick. $650, 1556 megahertz base, 1746 megahertz boost, and remember the MSI Afterburner software is fantastic. And being the fact we went with an MSI board, it will join them up, and you can overclock the snot out of these things, especially if you liquid cool them. Especially the i5 5500K chipset, you can overclock the snot out of them, especially using their software. It is absolutely brilliant software. I actually use it sometimes when I'm gaming if I want to go up to a higher graphic setting. But like I said, we're sticking to the budget, $650. 8 gig, you won't need a better graphics card than that for a while, and you could actually buy two of those and SLI them. Not that you probably would these days, but you could do it. SSD, I went 240 gig SSD, same as the last build, except obviously more. 1 terabyte hard drive space. Obviously, I love my little old hard drives. I just use them for movies and music and stuff like that. And most of my games like WoW, some of the older stuff that don't really need performance, so I usually put them on there. So you'll know about them. The monitor though, this time I'm going to click on this. It is something new from ASUS that I've seen coming through. It's a bit of a trend. They're IPS monitors, 27-inch widescreen. It's 1080p, not 4K. You could go a 4K monitor if you had the money and you wanted it. You'd have to spend a little bit more money. I think you're looking an extra couple $100 to get something that's 4K with G-Sync in the same size. It's got your tilt and stuff like that, wall mountable. But this one here, I looked into it. They talk about the eye care factor a little bit, and I've been reading on BenQ or Bank, depending on how you pronounce it. What the eye care thing is, it doesn't have as much glare or something on the screen, and it retains moisture in your eyes. It's not as hot or something like that, and lets you retain moisture in your eyes, so it's better for your eyesight. I don't know I didn't read the whole lot about it. It's flicker-free technology, 5 millisecond. It's IPS, so you're going to get those good angles, those good colors. And I can't remember what the eye care. Yeah, display surfaces are non-glare, obviously. But there was some type of eye care thing in there. I did read about it on the BenQ site, and it does look pretty. I like it. It kind of, that titanium brushed aluminium look. I love it. I love that. $279 fits in IPS. We'll go with that. Headset, HyperX Cloud Stinger headset. These are fairly new from what I've seen from the reviews. It's kind of replacing the base set. 275 grams. It's fairly light. It has everything. Again, 50mm drivers. Rotate your microphone just like this one. And when you rotate it up, it actually mutes it, which is kind of good. Still headband straps. It's got a volume control slider on it. It's got your 90-degree bend things, which this one does. So it does everything. It's got a fairly thick head strap on it. It looks fairly comfy. Haven't used it. Again, read reviews, watch reviews, and it's supposed to be not too bad of a headset for $69. Again, we're just trying to get stuff out of here. Oh, I forgot this. And this is the shock at the moment. I'm loving this at the moment. This is a Cooler Master. Back to the headset. The headset fits into the budget Well, this is a Cooler Master Kills Light L combo. Now, this is full RGB. Basically, it's two devices. It's a mouse keyboard combo. I've used this now for a few weeks on my girlfriend's machine. It's got this thing called what do they call it? Mechanical keyboard switches. Um, so you've got your different colors. You can do your full circle. You can do wave breathing, scan, and more. You got static or color cycle. You can match the color of that with your mouse. You can change the color of your mouse to match that. You've got your forward back buttons and your DPI switches, and yeah, they call it mechanical switches. Now I've used this, and it does feel like, and in the background, I don't know if you guys can hear that at all in the background. I'm typing on her keyboard right now. Um, it's got a tactile feel to it. So you kind of know when you press it, but it's actually a membrane underneath it. It's a bizarre feel at the start, but once you get used to it, there's the transparent plunger. It actually shows you there. It's actually quite a good keyboard. My actual Corsair Strafe MX Silent died the other day, completely just died, just out of warranty. Really pissed off on Corsair for that. It was just over a year old and completely just died in the ass. And I'm thinking of actually getting this keyboard. Um, I, I can get it by itself, or I can get it with the mouse, and I'm thinking of just getting it as a combo for $79. Because I love her keyboard. The only thing people probably won't like about it, the keys, it is a further press than a normal mechanical keyboards. It is a further press down, so if you have long fingers and you like to really bottom out those keys, it is a good thing for that. But if you've got shorter fingers and you don't like pressing too hard or too far down, you want to do more speed, you might not like it so much because there is a fair distance to press for it to react. But when it reacts, it's on the money every time. You generally, the only time you make a mistake when typing is when you make the mistake. It's not the keyboard doing it, because there is a point where you will feel it click, even though it doesn't click. It's a sensory thing. You have to use it to understand the keyboard. Took a while to get used to, but my girlfriend loves it. She types. She's just getting into games, and she's getting adjusted more to the WASD to games. She's used to a keyboard, a keypad, yeah, your old controller pads and stuff. She's used to them. She's getting used to this. She likes it for typing. I love it for typing. Much better than a standard membrane. Definitely not as expensive a mechanical keyboard. But yeah, with full RGB, for the price with the mouse for $79, it is the best mouse keyboard combo for the price. You can't even get a decent keyboard for that price these days. Like I said, I'm loving it. So take word of that. For $79, you wouldn't even want to upgrade it until it dies. You wouldn't do it. Yeah, I'm stunned. And the mouse itself, the mouse is great as well. Okay, it's not as good as my my Corsair one, but at the end of the day, it's $79 for the keyboard and the mouse. So it's good. I like it. The mouse actually does have your Omron switches in it as well. So it does have your infrared overcoat. It's an optical sensor of 3050 or something. There's a little bit about it. 2-zone lighting with RGB, so you can go for two. And then you've got obviously dedicated media keys, on the fly control, multimedia controls. You can do all that. There you go. DPI button, backward button, forward button, and left and right mouse click. And to change the lights, it's so easy. Turn on off light. 1+3. So you got to hold the DPI button with the right mouse button. Very rarely you do that in a game, so you can turn them off and on the fly as well. It's really handy. So there's a little bit about the specs about it, so you guys can pause on that and have a look and a read. And for $79, that is the Biznitch deal. I love it. It's a waste of money to buy the better stuff when you're starting out on a new system. the power supply on this. $169 for 650 watt platinum supply. It is full um, full custom power supply, what they call it, fully modular power supply support. The cables are actually these ribbon type cables that you're seeing here. They're just all black ribbon type cables. The power supplies are tiny. I think they're 140 mil. The average power supply is like 180 mil, so you're going to get a lot more room in your case. Not that you're going to need it anyway because it's fully modular. It'll fit in with that case really well. Love this power supply. It's fantastic. And you're looking at $169 now. I did go over budget by $5 by $4, but that was on the fly. Like I said, unfortunately, I didn't choose the power supply at the start. I had to go on the fly and change the i7 into an i5 and a power supply. But you can chop and change this, and again, here you go. If you've actually got your headset, your mouse, keyboard, your monitor, you probably even have a power supply. You know, you're saving yourself over $500 there alone. Probably even $700. You could get the i7 thing. You could go from this up to the 1080 if you wish. You could go from this to 64 gig of memory if you wanted to. You could go this into a more solid, reputable SSD. Although I've been running a SanDisk 120 in all three machines, and they've lasted for 2 years now, unscathed. You could get the bigger case tower. You could go full water cooling. You could do that if you've got the money. But right now, it's under $2,500 Australian. I went $2,504. You could probably change something out to save the $4. But honestly, for the extra $4, Jesus, it's pretty much a cup of coffee these days in Australia is $4. So just save on a coffee for one day and you've got that budget. It's $2,500 AUD. So they are the machines that are built for under $1,000. I came in at $995. Like I said, that does include monitor, keyboard, mouse. It does include your operating system as well. So it's including everything. So, and that's where I want people to comment. If you didn't have to include things, what wouldn't you include because you've already got it, and what would you change out? Please like, favorite, subscribe. It does take a while to put these videos together. This has been a very long video for me. They're usually not this long. I hope you liked it, especially to my Australian fans. Like I said, this stuff came from PC Case Gear. I don't get all my parts from them. I do get the majority of them. I find their site the easiest with the most readily available stuff and the most new stuff. Sometimes they're not the best prices, but thank you PC Case Gear for putting up the website that allows me to create the wish list, that allow me to do these videos. They're not paying for it. They're not doing anything. It's just easier for me to use them. They have nothing to do with this video. They're not affiliated with it. They're not sponsoring me. But hey guys, if you want to pay me, bring it on. I'll do them every month if you want me to. I'll do them every week. But, you know, it's up to the people what they want to do. It's up to you guys. If you want to see more content like this, I will do it. I don't have access to it, and to the gaming companies out there, if you actually like this type of video and you go, geez, I like this guy, I want to send him stuff, get in contact with me. I don't ask for money. I just like doing this stuff. If you want to donate me money, there's links. There's I think in there on my channel right now, what you're watching, you will see twitch.tv/Geekoffaleash. And you've got my Twitter there at OffGeek. Please get in contact with me if you want. If you're just watching the channel and you're going, geez, this guy's pretty cool, get in contact with me. If you like my pop vinyl collection, get in contact with me. If you like my little Yoshi bag, whoop, there it is, right beside my seat, down here somewhere, little Yoshi. Let me know if you want to see my girlfriend play some games. Definitely give me thumbs up, because let's put some pressure on my girlfriend to get on a camera and play some games. Other than that, I hope this has been a great thing for anyone in Australia, anyone from America or Canada or overseas that's watching this. You can compare your prices. I bet you get a lot better deal than what we do. But like I said, these are complete systems. These aren't half-assed ones. These aren't the. Oh, by the way, you need your software, your mouse, your keyboard, your headset, your monitor. You need all that crap. I haven't done that. This includes all that, which makes it so much harder to do. And everything that I've done is all DDR4 based. It all has some type of expandability or upgradability or future proofness to it. I don't like those words, but you can do it. There's a little neat ways around it that you can do it. You can upgrade most of the stuff there. I have used stock coolers. If you want to get other coolers, you can spend anywhere between $30 to $3,000-$4,000, depending on what type of cooling you want. Obviously, you need different types of cases for that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I love doing this type of stuff. It is me at my natural. As you see, I make mistakes. Sorry, Mr. Core i7. I had to replace you for an i5 in a power supply, but without the power supply, it wasn't going to work. I haven't added webcams and stuff like that. You can buy webcams from as little as like $30, $40 and go up to a couple of hundred. You can buy better microphones. Like I said, it's up to you what you want to do. This is just a sneak peek of what you can do for that amount of money in Australia. And you can swap and change it. That wish list is up there. Like I said, if you want to know it, you just actually go to PC Case Gear's site, click on the Find Me Some, and I'm pretty sure you can type in Geek off a leash, and oh, they were unable to find that product. Oh, sorry. You click on wish list. I'm sorry, but you click on wish list. Take all that back. So you go to their website, which you can't see up the top here, but it's pccasegear.com.au. You click on wish list, and then you go find someone's wish list, and mine are up there, which are convenient. So you can type in Geek off a leash, which is my username. Which is what I use for YouTube, I use for Twitter. My Twitter is at offgeek, but my Twitch is Geekoffaleash. So you type in my Steam is Geekoffaleash too. We can't find any matching wish lists. What? I thought they were all private, all public. They are public. What if I type in under? I'm really wishlist name or email. Oh, so Geek off a leash. You might have to type in the full thing under 1000 AUD search. Oh. I'll get this right in a second. Under $1,000. And it's not finding them for me. I wonder if it's because it's on my account. Let's sign out. Let's have a look. I've been logged out. Let's click on wish list. Let's find someone. There's my old email address. I don't use it anymore, so if you guys want to try and send me spam and that, let's have a look. Geekoffaleash search. No, it's not coming up. Don't know why, but anyway, you can pause the video. I don't know why it's not working. It could be the fact that oh Jesus, I think you just saw all my login details and all my passwords. Please don't send anything to that. Have a good day. This is Geekoffaleash. I am buggered. That was a long video. I don't know how long it was. I'm guessing it's about an hour or so. Hope you enjoyed it. I want new hat designs. Tell me what I should buy. New hats. Tell me what I should buy. Girlfriend hates me buying hats because she says I've got too many of them. Tell me if there's a new one I should buy. Should I buy Sonic or Mario? There's another comment. Have a good day. Have a good Christmas. I'll do one more of these next time there's more parts come out. Like I said, if the AMD guys want me to do an AMD one, I will do it. You just got to comment. Take it easy, guys. I'm Geekoffaleash. This is Hurley X. That is my wall of stuff. My fish tank is over there. That's just about complete. I will see you all later. Bye. Oh, press the wrong button.